What's going on, my friends? Alrighty, the next step in this process. This is the good one. This is the one we've been waiting for a while. Now, mind you, this is going to take a little while to get this house built. Well, I wouldn't say built, but finished. That's a better way of putting it. Because it'll, at some point, be like, okay, there's the concrete, then there's the house and the shed, and from the outside, it looks like it's done, but on the inside, it's not. So, the biggest of the work is getting all the inside done. But there's a lot of coordinating and preparation. You know, when you hire a contractor, this is the things they do. It's what you pay them to do. It's a lot of money. When you're doing it yourself, you may save some money, but it's a little bit more work, I think. So, as I said in my last video, we're approved. I've got permits to go ahead and build. Build. I've decided, like I say, to go with a plumber. And I've definitely, after talking to the plumber the other day, I met with him yesterday, in fact. No, day before yesterday. I'm sorry. It's been a couple of days. But he gave me the estimate yesterday, which was less than I thought it would be. It really was. So talking with him, he's got the laser. Get out there and figure out if he can pitch that thing. He's still thinking that I probably could do it, but there's a remote chance you may need a sewer pump. And he said the one I'd put in is just a standard pump. It's about $500 or $600, and you'll be fine. We'll just use 2-inch pipe to the 6-inch out there to the street. You have to do it for pressure reasons. It pumps it. It's a 40-gallon pump. So, and it's kind of good to know that there's at least a 40-gallon there that pumps it to where things break down. And it's not just trying to pump all at once, because, you know, there is the only difference is if the power goes out. And, well, you just be creative in ways on that. And if that happens in that small house, what you do is you shift your mindset back to RV. What would you do if you had no power and your sewage pump wouldn't go and you couldn't flush down the toilet? Well, you only have 40 gallons of drainage for your water. You always have a Outcore or one of those Thetford Curve portable toilets on hand. There you go, folks. That's how you do that. So this is the things that, like, my brother and I were like night and day. He'd be like, nah, I don't get that. I can't do that. Like, and trust me, it's not that big a deal. It's nothing. Trust me. I've lived in both, and, you know, if I had to live full time in a van or RV, I can do it. I love it. It's all good. But I'm going to have a home base, and we're going to have that home on land and home on wheels, as I stated. We're going to do that. So, I'm going with that plumber that we talked about. A really good quote, man. It wasn't that bad, really. And it was not that bad in the sense I told him, price me on a separate quote what you'd be to run my water line from the main to the back. Because I'm looking at about $500 or more, give or take, for the trencher. That's because they'd have to deliver it down and do all that. And maybe the water line, which is another, you're talking $700 for parts, water line, and fitting and time. I'm paying the guy to help me do it. What's a few $100s more? So he's only charging me $1,100 to run that water line, to where he said, don't run the water line up in the center of the perimeter. Let them do the footings. I'll get that drilled and bored through. Cool. He said for the sewage line too, just let them do the footings. I'll get that taken care of, either over or under, because what I need to do is figure out how that's going to pitch, because you're up in a crawl space. You know, the higher up, the better, but, you know, we've got enough room, and he knows I'm not going to be up under that house much for anything. There's a water line and one drain line, and that's nothing. If there's no sewage pump needed, it's 4-inch line. He goes, that 4-inch all the way to the street, you shouldn't have any problems with it getting clogged up. Minimum by code is 3-inch, and you would be surprised, even on your own houses, if you have a concrete slab or a crawl space, you want to go down there and look where your toilet flange goes, and there's that main drain out, and everything feeds into it, from your showers to your sink, washer and dryer, sink. It could be a 3-inch, and that makes it a little bit tougher. It's the reason why sometimes he said that more often than none, people get clogs in their plumbing system and have to do Drano or get it snaked out. It's because it's a little small, but code allows you for 3-inch diameter pipe. I'm looking to do 4, but if it's the pump where it goes 2 to 6, the pump will take care of all that, and it'll do whatever it's got to do. We hope. I'll just deal with it. It's okay. So, all right. So another thing is, when you get your permit pack, you pay for your permit, and they tell you the order of inspections. Each state's a little different, but overall it's about the same because, like I say, as this states here, you will need this. That's why they give them 2 sets of plans. They keep wanting to have one. You have to have that certified stamp on there and have those plans at the property ready for the inspector. So when we do the concrete, I'm gonna have to meet him out there and have the plans. When the house gets there, I'll just keep them in the house waterproof pouch or keep them somewhere where it's waterproof where he can access those plans and they're at the house in case I'm not there or something. Because I don't want to waste their time and I don't want to do that. So, but basically, as these plans state, it says the drawings and specifications have been reviewed for code compliance under the International Residential Code. These documents and the exceptions must be on-site review for the inspector. So every state in this country there's an international code and there's a federal code with HUD when you're building houses. So there's going to be a lot of similarities to that, as you know. So this is why you really just need to be transparent and honest and tell these people, if I can get the approval for building code on doing what I'm doing here with a shed to tiny home, you can do it too. So, all right, next on the agenda, this is the next step in this process, even though we're getting that water line done. The next thing is I'm going this Tuesday up to Greenville. It's outside of Greenville, South Carolina. It's but little ways out in a town called Pickens, South Carolina. It's the building company, Legacy. I'm going to get with them. We're going to get this thing started. Got to get the windows ordered. So when we get them started, I have to let them know that some specifics. And when I get up there, he said there's a whole lot of stuff they're building, these sheds and these buildings. Be one like I'm doing. I'll be able to maybe show you more video. It won't be 100% exactly like what I'm doing because, one, I've got to order big windows in it, and 2, the color and maybe a couple other things, but it'll give you a general idea. I mean, you've seen these sheds. You know what they look like, but these guys do a really good job, and it's really cool what they do. The siding they use, as I said before, it's a LP, highly engineered lap siding. It's infused with that zinc borate, which is what I'm treating the bottom of the house with and the inside. That borate is the termite treatment. So when that house comes in, I have to treat it with borate treatment inside and out. And what I'm going to do is do a water seal on the outside. I'm going to do it on the inside too. I'm going to roll the floors with the water seal. God forbid there's ever a water leak. It's not going to damage the floor. We can get it cleaned up and it may keep that stuff to a minimum. Also, I'm using rock wool for the insulation, which is mold, mildew proof and water resistant. Won't hold it, but I'm going to use sheetrock that's mold and mildew resistant. And in the bathroom, in the back of the kitchen wall, is going to be the purple, which is the waterproof sheetrock. It has to be behind the shower. So I'm just going to do the whole shower, the whole bathroom, and the whole kitchen. It's $1 or $2 a sheet more, but you get moisture in that bathroom and those walls, and you don't want it just eating in. Even if I had the mold or mildew proof, it would be mold and mildew proof, but that doesn't mean the sheetrock won't break down. That will reassure that we're not going to have a breakdown, especially if there were a flood. So, but that will be cool, and more likely that's going to be my next video, is that when I'm going up there Tuesday, unless something else comes along, up to Legacy. It'll be cool. We'll get that started. So that'd be the next thing off my checklist and trying to get this house built. So where this is going to take some time is once we get the concrete done, there's 2 tiers of inspection. They do the footings, the PA straps, those steel straps, they inspect those. Then the concrete people come back and build the piers and get the PA straps, everything concreted in. And then all that's inspected the second time to make sure everything's width with the house coming in. And then the house is brought in. So once the house is brought in, that's where the time's going to take. I've got to treat the house, do all that, and do everything I'm going to do. Get the steps built, coming up, get all that. I may do some pre-built ones like you see. You see them on mobile homes sometimes. But it's got to be very sturdy, very strong, anchored to the house. So I'm going to have to be strategic on how I do that. When I get that, and then get the plumber and the electrician in. Plumber's coming in first because, well, he just said the electrician does stuff that gets in my way. I said, okay, well, you're coming in first. And then the electrician. So once all that is done, the inspector will come in and do it with a 4-way. Now, generally, the 4-way would be like mechanical ductwork and be gas and electric, all the electrical rough out, then the plumbing, and then the house and all the framing and everything done. And that's the specifics I'll work out with Legacy. I got to make sure your Simpson straps are showing on the download so they see those, and let's take some photos or video of what you're doing on the outside so they can see what you've done on that, and they'll know. They'll see all that. They'll see the strapping on the inside. They'll see the framing. Everything is done. Everything is done according to these plans right here. That's the key right there is all that's done to that. So once he gives me a clear on that, then I insulate. I'm doing all that. He'll inspect the insulation, all's good. He'll say, go to drywall. When you get to a point in your drywall and you prime and paint and you're ready for the electrician to come in, have him come in, do all your fixtures. And that's where I'm gonna ask him, because I'm not sure about the mini split unit. That may be, does that have to be in with the fixtures? Because the mini split can be on the final. They know that's going in, but the wiring and the rough has to be for the mini split there, so they know that. But once that's, he comes in, the electrician puts all those fixtures in, he comes back and he inspects those fixtures, make sure everything's good, and then he doesn't come back until the final. He said, after that's done, once you finish everything, get that house move-in ready. No furniture, just got to get moving ready. You can't move in until I give it to you, the certificate of occupancy. He said, I'll come in, I'll inspect the final, make sure everything's running, everything's going right, and I'll give you a certificate of occupancy. And that is, my friends, how that works in South Carolina, at least, or my local government where I'm at. So it's going to take, the biggest time process is going to be from the time of insulation. When I get down there, he comes in, it's going to be the sheetrock, all that stuff, getting the trim, the floor, trim, cabinets, fixtures. The plumber's going to put my fixtures in. I just have to go buy the toilet, the sink, make sure I get the shower insulation, the hot water. I've got to buy all that stuff. All that is, it's going to take the biggest time in getting I've got a buddy of mine who runs a refrigeration place, thank God. He's going to help me out with trying to get me the mini split, and then I know if somebody's going to come in, we're going to get it put in, So either good old Clancy and I are going to do it, or get somebody to come in and help me do it. But we'll get that mini split in and do it right. I'll have that mini split. The outside unit will be up on a rack. It'll be bolted to the house. It'll be kind of cool, not on the ground. So that's going to help a lot. It'll go in just like any mini split you've always seen it'll be, and that'll just keep it off the ground, make life a lot easier on that deal, especially if I'm weed eating or doing things around the house. Because eventually what we're going to do, the very last thing, is I'm going to brick around the perimeter. We're going to make sure the concrete guys get brick straps on those piers so we can brick, get somebody to get the brick and have them brick around the perimeter of the house. So it's a long process. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to take a little while, but that's a part of this process. So anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. And more than likely, it's going to be Tuesday when I do the video for Legacy. And it'll be pretty cool to get that started. And I appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Be cool. Bye.